Hey, everybody, I'm back with another little creative pep talk this week. And I want to start us off with a quote from one of my favorite actors, Hugh Laurie, who says, "It's a terrible thing, I think, in life to wait until you're ready. I have this feeling now that actually no one is ever ready to do anything. There is almost no such thing as ready." This gets into some of what we've talked to already about perfectionism and permission. A lot of us really, really think that we have to wait until we're ready before we can do something. I agree with Hugh Laurie. I don't think there's any such thing as ready. I think ready is an illusion, and ready often is an excuse that we make up because we don't feel confident about what we want to do, and we think we're going to fail, and we're not even sure we're allowed, and we're terrified. And terror is okay, right? Fear is part of being human. Fear is what happens when you try something new. Fear really means that you're growing. Unless you are being chased by the wild animal with the, horns and tusks and things, that's a different thing. But fear really is a part of growing, and it's a part of learning. And if you're not ever scared, then you're probably just kind of stagnating, doing the same thing over and over and again on the hamster wheel. Which is not to say that you should be terrified all the time and that that's a good thing. It's not a good thing. But the belief that you have to be ready will keep you from doing anything. I've mentioned before that, I wouldn't have this podcast if I had waited until I was ready. I didn't have anything. I didn't have a microphone. I didn't have the first idea how to do a podcast. I didn't even have a title. But I encountered someone I knew would be a fantastic interview, and I couldn't resist asking. And I knew the worst thing that could happen was that he would say no, and I would walk away with nothing less than I had in the first place. So where was the harm in asking? You know, if I waited until I was ready to do these little creative pep talks, which are not scripted at all, as you can undoubtedly tell, because every once in a while I trip over myself, I would not be doing them yet. I'm a writer. I was taught to go back and review everything over and over and over again. And what they fail to tell you often enough, I suspect, is that at some point you just have to decide you're done. And as a result, the process of going back and reviewing and knowing that it will never be perfect, but still trying to make it perfect anyway, will turn you into a crazy perfectionist. At some point, you just have to say, I'm done. I've done everything I can do here, and that's it. But if I were trying to script these episodes, it would take me so much longer because I would want to go back through and do all of that. So I decided, you know what? I don't want to wait till I'm ready. And there's merit to just going and doing what comes off the top of my head. That's probably the really good stuff anyway. And I can always add more in a later episode. And this is not about perfection. In fact, if I'm going to tell everybody about the evils of perfectionism, I need to demonstrate the opposite of perfectionism myself. So I'm not really ready by any conventional definition of ready. And yet here we are. And enough of you listen and contact me that I know that I'm hitting the right notes. So it's all okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be ready. You don't have to have, done 8 million pages of research or, learned every single thing you could possibly learn about making bread before you try to make your very first loaf. You haul out the cookbook, you get out the ingredients, you follow the instructions, and if it comes out well, fabulous. If it doesn't, then you can go back and you can say, what did I skip? What did I miss in this recipe? What did I do wrong? And try again. It's not a character flaw. It just means you experimented and something was a little bit off. But you still did a thing. You still made the loaf of bread. You painted the painting. You recorded the podcast. You did something that got you a little bit out of your comfort zone. Rather than waiting around until the mythical place of ready came up and you thought, yes, now I am fully prepared and I can go and do everything. How? Ooh, probably perfectly. Yeah. Ready doesn't exist. Stop believing in ready. Ready is great if you're a medical doctor and you're performing surgery. You know, we all wanted vaccines for COVID to be ready, really ready. But for most of the things that we do every day, there's absolutely no harm in jumping out and trying something, whether you feel like you're ready or not. And actually, not waiting until you feel ready is a fabulous, fabulous confidence builder. So, if you've been waiting for the moment when ready came to you, I invite you to decide that ready is an illusion that lives only in your mind and that you don't need to wait for it to happen. You can do it now. Try it now. Start now. Start now. See what happens. Build on the good stuff. Learn how to leave out the stuff that doesn't work so well. That's how every single process of learning and exploration and creativity has ever worked, ever. So go and take it and make it yours. If you have any questions for me, you can find me at nancy@fycuriosity.com or on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. And if you want to tell me how your experiment in Not Ready went, I would love to hear about it at the same address or on those same platforms. And if you feel inspired and would like some extra help getting motivated in your own particular case, since these little pep talks can only really be pretty general, contact me. We'll set up a time to talk because I do take private clients and I would love to help you out. So, talk to you next time.